So today we are going to take a look at the Type 81 light machine gun. And before you pass judgment on this rifle, watch to the end of the video and then we'll see if your opinion on it has changed for the better or the worse. To start with, I'm going to talk about the history of the rifle a little bit before moving on to an overview of the whole rifle. And then after that, I'm going to test out the accuracy and the rifle handling. It was designed in 1979 to replace the Chinese AK-47s. They took inspiration from the SKS, the AK-47, and the Dragunov to create an improved service rifle. The service life of this rifle is supposed to be about 20,000 rounds, which is about double that of the AK-47. The original accuracy requirements of the rifle were to hit 50% of its shots in a 1.78 inch group at 100 meters. I guess this rifle is about a 3-minute of angle accuracy rifle, so I would put its effective range at about 300 to 400 meters, but it uses the same 7.62 by 39 round as the RPK, and that has an effective range of 1,000 meters. The barrel of this is a few inches shorter, but other than that, they're very similar. This rifle has seen a lot of combat. It was used in the Soviet-Afghan War, the Kosovo War, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Type 81 currently has lots of submodels, but the two original models were the Type 81 and the Type 81 LMG. In 2020, they designed a sniper rifle variant just for the Canadian market. The rifle's current surge in popularity is due to the import into Canada, where these act as a really nice functional replacement, an upgrade, over the ever-popular SKS. With the price of SKSs rising, these are a really great option. This is the LMG version, so it has some benefits and drawbacks over the other versions. If you're interested to see the difference, check out my other video where I outline all three of the rifles. Okay, now let's take an overview of the whole rifle, starting from the muzzle brake. So you can get a bunch of different screw-on muzzle brakes for this rifle, but I have the slant style, which is the style that would have came equipped with the rifle when it went into combat. And how it works is the gases come out and get pushed upward, which keeps the muzzle down. From my experience, it does a pretty good job keeping the rifle on target when rapid firing. Okay, next is the bipod, which is super simple and easy to use. You just squeeze the legs together and then fold it down and they lock into place. You have to be a little bit careful because the feet here can actually knock the front of the foregrip. So if you over compress it, it will hit, but it works really well. The front sight post is really easy to use. It's super simple. It just has left, right, or up and down adjustment. Moving down the rifle, you have the front sling attachment and the gas adjuster. So you have 1 to the right, then you have 0 in the middle so it won't cycle, then you have adverse or 2 on the left. And I found in really cold weather you need to have it on 2. I'm guessing if you haven't cleaned your rifle in a little while, you'll probably want to have it on 2 as well. Okay, coming back again, then you've got the front handguard. It's super comfy, it's well made, it feels really robust. I have no doubts that it's going to last a long time. You also have a central handle for holding the rifle. With the drum magazine, it's perfectly balanced, super easy to hold. The rifle's a little bit heavy, but it's with all these comfy holding points, it's not hard to move it around. The barrel itself is a heavy barrel. It's a 20.1 inch barrel, I believe. As for the rear sight, it's a simple adjustment of up and down. So if you need to make quick range adjustments on the fly, it works really well. On the right-hand side, you have the adjustment for 100 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters, and 500 meters. On the left, you have the adjustment for 600 and 700. Here's a little peek down the sights so you can see what it looks like. The top bar is used for the 600 and 700 adjustment, and the bottom bar is used for the 1 to 500 meter adjustment. The top handguard can also be rotated a little. So here it's in the topmost position where it goes vertically. You can rotate it about 45 degrees to the right or you can completely rotate it down and have it tucked out of the way. In all of the positions, you can still see through the sights, so it's pretty handy. I would take it off, but it actually is really nice to use. The gas system on this is actually a short stroke, and what that means is the piston and the bolt are not connected. So on an AK-47, they're all one piece, and it supposedly gives you better reliability, but it gives you more recoil and a few other issues. But I can show you quickly. So you can clearly see that the bolt is not connected to the piston. The magazine, it uses kind of an AK style rocking feature. You just kind of rock it in and rock it out. It's pretty easy to use, no complaints. I've got the 75 round drum magazine. It's Canadian legal, limited to 5 rounds, but it still looks pretty cool. Moving rearward a bit more on the rifle, so you've got the bolt, you've got the dust cover. The safety on the LMG is on this side. So here you can see it's 180 degree safety. So right now it's on fire. The trigger is really nice and smooth. It's much nicer than an SKS. It's a little bit long, but I think that's good because of the recoil of the rifle. It needs to be a bit long to give it a bit more controllability. Foregrip, it's a really nice wood, super comfy, with gloves, without gloves, no problem. I have large hands, like in glove size, and no complaints. Okay, moving on to the buttstock. It has kind of an RPK style, so what that means is once you're lying in prone, you can use your secondary hand to grip onto this little nub right here. And then that gives you a bit more control when you've got it on the bipod. As you can see, this part of the stock is lower than this part, and I have found if you're wearing hearing protection, like big over-ear headphones, the headphones actually touch the wood. So if you are going to shoot one of these, I would highly recommend using foamy in-ear plugs or something like that. The stock itself is really nice. It's got a little trap door in the back, which I showed in the unboxing video. So if you want to see more about that, you can have a look at that video. The butt plate on the back here, it's got this tiny little catch, but it's rounded, so it doesn't dig into your shoulder at all. And I've had no problem with it, and I haven't noticed it getting caught on anything. And nice solid steel butt plate. Okay, so now let's do an accuracy test and see what range I can push this out to. I'm going to shoot 5 rounds at the 25 meter board, 5 rounds at the 50 meter board, and then 5 rounds at the 100 meter board. I am just shooting standard bulk 7.62 by 39 ammo, so it's not the most accurate ammo. I'm not going to be putting my best effort in today. I'll put a good effort in, but it's not going to be the best. So this isn't the accuracy limit of this gun. This is just roughly what you could expect. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm using the banana magazines because they load a bit more consistently than the drum magazine. I have 3 targets set up. One at the 25, which is what I'm aiming at now. One at the 50 meters, which is what I'm aiming at now. And then another at the 100 meters, which is over here. I will try and shoot a bit further. If we look downrange, so there we can see the 100 a bit more clearly. That first bank there is 300 meters. The second bank is 400 meters. And that big one up there is 500 meters. So looking down the sights, I think realistically, unless you're trying to, I'll aim at the 300. Trying to hit even a 300 meter target will be quite difficult with the stock sight setup. This first shot is a cold bore, so it's out of the barrel. I haven't cleaned it or used it in a while. So this first shot might be a flyer, but that's what I would expect. So when we are looking at the results later, we'll keep that in mind. Something to note, I have the banana mag inserted and it has a last shot bolt hold open, which is really nice. So that was the 25-meter shooting. I roughly zeroed this rifle, but it's not quite spot on. So instead of accuracy, we'll go for grouping size. Last time I was at the range, I met this Chinese guy who knew a lot about these rifles, and he whipped out the Chinese manual on his phone, and he was telling me for every millimeter you move the front sight post right or left, it translates to, I believe it was 20 centimeters right or left at 100 yards. And for every full rotation you did on the height on the front sight post, I think he said that was 15 centimeters up or down. Okay, so that was the 25-meter shooting. Let's move on to the 50. Okay, so that's 50-meter shooting done. So I just did the shooting at 100 meters. I'm gonna do the adjustment on the rear sight and just change it to the 3. And then I'm gonna try hitting a target out at 300 meters. So we'll see how accurate this adjustment is. Okay, so here I am out at the 300-yard board. I won't be able to distinguish that from the whole thing. So I'll just have to know I'm shooting to the right half of the wooden board there. So like I said, I'm at the 300. And then you see the shooting bays at the end there. Also, just with iron sights, it's hard to even see the target at 300. I actually cannot see what I'm shooting at, but I know roughly where it is. So I'll just aim the rifle in that direction. And again, I'll shoot off 5 shots and yeah, I'll see what I do. Okay, so that was at 300 meters. Let's see if I hit any of those shots. So here we have all 4 targets I shot at. The 25 meter, 50 meter, 100 and 300 meter. As for the actual rifle's adjustments, I held dead center aiming at this one, dead center aiming at this one, dead center aiming at this one. And then these 3 were all on the 100 meter setting on the rear sight. I changed it to the 300 meter setting and then shot for this one. So the grouping for this one, I fired 5 shots. I think I was aiming a little to the left, as you can see, and I hit 3 on this board. And this shot are about 20 inches apart. I have no idea where the other 2 shots went. I'm going to assume they went somewhere around here. But a quick overview, we've got a 3.5 inch group at 25, a 4.5 inch group at 50, a 6.5 inch group at 100, and I'll say 20 at 300. I'm confident that if you spent a bit of time with this rifle, you could get these dialed in a lot more. As for the rifle handling, the recoil is not bad at all, and with the muzzle brake, the rifle barely jumps. With the stock, as I said, it's lower at the front than it is at the back. So if you have your cheek back here, your eye is so much higher up, you can't actually see through the sights. So what you have to do is have your eye really close to the wood, and it's a really uncomfortable shooting position. Whereas if you get your cheek really far forward, just here, then you can line up really nicely behind the rear sight. The rifle's not too heavy to use with or without the bipod. The weight of it actually is quite nice to help managing with the recoil. Yeah, the safety is really easy to use. Just flick it on and off with your thumb. I'm just doing it now, no problem at all. Reloading is fine, but I've noticed with some newer shooters I've had, what they do is sometimes they don't quite hook the magazine in deep enough before they rotate. And so what happens is like this. So the magazine is locked into place, as you can see. I can't pull it out, but the front of the rifle, the front of the magazine is not in at all. So it's a bit wobbly. Like that's not gonna load anything. But it's easy to fix. All you have to do, pull the rear thumb tab, pull it out, and then good to go. Thanks for watching the Type 81 review. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And if you're thinking about buying a Type 81 and you have any questions, why don't you feel free to leave them in the comments. Or if you've bought a Type 81, leave your thoughts on owning the rifle in the comments too. So until next time, see ya.